the feedback that we get during this time is what we put into our brains as, this is important to do, this is what I'm supposed to do. For me, personally, this was, you need to try really hard in school, and you need to do really well. You need to understand the material. You need to make sure they know you understand the material. You can't goof around. This is serious. At home, I had different roles of what I was supposed to do. And those roles changed as I grew, as they naturally do. In my particular situation, what was encouraged, what behaviors were encouraged, discouraged, or ignored changed a lot. And at different times were very polarized between my parents, mostly because of divorce. So essentially, my subjective role in life, or thing I'm supposed to do, which would be more like, that's the kind of thing you're supposed to do with the group, would essentially be different every 2 or so days. So I spent half the week at one parent's house, half the week at the other. Parents come from very different backgrounds. Essentially, what was encouraged, accepted, and promoted in one house, you know, Sunday through Tuesday, was maybe not such a good thing to do at the other parent's house. And not just not good to do that, but perhaps do the opposite. Because you're a kid, you rely on the group, which is your parents, you do this. I used to joke that, yeah, you know, it's a little hard moving my stuff every 2 days, but I'm really flexible. In my particular case, I developed the ability to simultaneously hold very different realities and very different concepts of myself and my world. This turns out to be an amazing asset once I resolved the conflicts that naturally arose between having those two realities. But because it wasn't absolute either way of what I was supposed to be doing in this kind of subjective role in my group, my objective role was even more emphasized. So what's my job? My job is to do well in school, to understand the material, and let my teachers and classmates know that I understand it. Most of my teachers. For other people, this may have been sports, may have been another part of life, but there's a good chance that there's something that was very applicable in life that they were supposed to be doing. And then in their home, maybe there's a certain role they played, and maybe that was peacemaker, or maybe it was caretaker, or maybe it was mood lightener, de-escalator, you know, and that was what essentially you had to do. And very likely you doing that perhaps went against something else that you would have naturally done. But you were able to do it, there's the opportunity to do it, and it helped to do it at the time. So you have your subjective sense of survival and what you're supposed to do and your value. Then you have your subjective, your objective role. This is my job, I'm a job dog. And then you have your subjective role, which is, this is what kind of dog I am. With an emphasis on the job dog. Now, as you get older, and perhaps these roles are no longer appropriate for you, and you're no longer in those situations, either you recognize that you have a different role that you'd like to play, and you could naturally transition to it, or you try to keep on playing the same role, because that's the input that you have in there, that's the foundation of your understanding.